guys, it's Sunday night at 10 p.m. Yes, it is. It is your weekly The APAT Show. Leigh, how are you?
I am very well. Happy Easter to you, Des.
Happy Easter, Leigh. Did you get any eggs this weekend?
No, I'm well off the chocolate.
Either.
Yeah,
didn't really feel like an Easter, Leigh. I have to say, I'm not off the chocolate. Just didn't get any. Didn't get any of anything. I have to say.
But that's okay. You don't need chocolate when we got a couple of guests to brighten up our Sunday night.
Sweet link. Yeah. I like it. Shall we bring them in?
It's as sweet as
bloody
chocolate.
Hell! Yeah, I've never seen Dan move that fast. What was going on there?
We are double danning down on a Sunday night. So a warm welcome to Mr. Owston and Mr. Williams. How are you doing both?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Mr. Owston's blending in with his background there. It's very very SAS of him.
I like it. The chameleon, Dan Owston.
I'm not quite as ventured as this as the other Dan, because he's obviously in a specifically designed studio, and I'm just on my sofa. You'll have to put up with that.
I wonder, Leigh. I'm wondering. We've never done this with Dan Williams before, but I wonder if we can, bring him closer. What do you reckon?
Oh, crikey!
Let me just.
You, scary thought.
You talk to the folks, Leigh. You tell them what's happening.
That is a scary.
Yeah, my magic here.
Thought. Des is going to use some special Zoom thing. It's a scary thought what was going to happen, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So so the plan for tonight, we've got a few announcements, things to chat about on the world of APAT. So you'll have seen Tom posting up some info in the group. Oh, hello! Look at that! Oh, hey.
Okay, now that's scary.
Oh, mate, do you want me to show you some of your other rooms?
But as well as obviously both Dan's in the studio, we're thinking we might get a call from Natalie Bromley from Dublin.
Oh dear, it's been on the Guinness out here.
Possibly in the next 5 minutes or so, and we also have the England skipper Wayne Parker is going to be calling into the show as well with a big announcement as well, all about the World Champs in August. So. Loads going on. There's been a bit of football happening, a bit of golf going on.
Can we take that back? No, not the World Champs. Just the World Championship prospective team. Definitely not the World Champs.
Oh, good point. Well made. It's a good point. Well made.
Yeah, nicely pulled back out there. Yeah, you're quite right. Just the England team. So, and Dan is threatening that he might actually give us some teasers on the Welsh team as well, if we can manage to.
I think it's going to be announced this evening.
There we go.
Excellent. We've got two exclusives then. An England team and a Welsh team. Nice.
So absolutely, loads going on. Been a busy old week. Tom's been over in Dublin, so we've got some information about the results of the APAT event over in Dublin, and of course, just so much going on this time of the year.
How do you guys feel that a Dusk Till Dawn regular won the APAT in Ireland? I think that's pretty impressive.
Is he a Dusk Till Dawn regular?
Yeah, it's Jess Pilkington's boyfriend. So Jess Pilkington, she won regular at Dusk Till Dawn. She just finished 13th in that big Sunday Million online. I know that she's won the Sunday Million once before as well, actually.
Yes,
He's,
so
that's her boyfriend.
I've got an interview that was done with the winner at the Irish Open. So the winner of the APAT, he mentions, I think that his girlfriend had a big result, which makes sense.
He calls up my missus. My missus,
that's exactly my missus. And then she said, oh, your wife. And he went, no, don't go too far now. Let's not go too far. But there was one beautiful moment when he referred to the other players at the table, the final table, as amateurs, which I didn't know whether to take as an insult or not. I mean, it's quite accurate, of course, in theory. Shall we roll this interview with our winner from Dublin? We'll take about 60 seconds of this.
Let's do it.
Hello, welcome back to our coverage of the Irish Open 2023. I'm joined by Marianne Dumatraki, who has just taken down the APAT event for just shy of €10,000. How are you feeling?
I feel all right. It's good. It's I don't know. I'm trying my best and this time work. Be a good tournament, good festival for very good for now. Like I'm trying to play that Omaha later after tomorrow main event, and maybe that 3K. Don't know, depends the field, depends how I'm feeling, how I'm running.
We saw you pull some nice moves in this event, some nice bluffs.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to say the guys it's amateur or something like that. But and to be honest, I'm exploiting another thing. They play very scared. Like too scared is like I don't know. Like, and I'm not very aggressive player. Like I'm pretty tight, but they like very scared. Obviously, like I'm win hands. Like when I have all-ins, especially in day 2, I'm win. In beginning, I'm building stack, and after put more moves in my games. But in beginning, I'm run like I'm go to the 50 bigs, and I'm start with 10 bigs, and I'm go to 50.
Started with 10 bigs, got up to 50 bigs, because the players were scared to play against him. Amateurs, obviously. But
What's bonus for subtitles?
Well, listen, I was talking to Jen and Donna, who were doing the updating over there, and I made the joke, he's from Cork, and they came back with, no, I think he is from Cork. I think he is actually from Cork. Okay, that was a bad joke. It was a bad joke.
I mean, to be honest, I guess that particular, I mean, the events where we tend to be tied in with another festival. So obviously, you know, the Irish Open is a good example, where we've been at the IPO in the past, or you know, as we've just mentioned, and we'll talk about it a little bit later on. We're heading back to the Goliath now in the summer. They're the APAT events where I'd say are far less amateur kind of field than you know, your usual kind of APAT event. So I'm quite surprised that he would say that. Actually, it could just be that people are on that final table and it's a side event there at the Irish Open, and it's not something that they're used to doing, and so yeah, maybe it's just something which he thought was his experience at that final table. But I certainly wouldn't say they were amateurish, to say the least. Talking about Irish Open, Des, one Natalie Bromley has just popped into the studio with quite a lot of background noise, but she is there anyway.
Oh, there she is. Hey,
Hi,
Natalie.
guys. How are you? Hello. How are we?
Really good.
you
Leigh,
hear me
you do
okay?
some talking there, my friend, while I switch things around a bit.
Yeah, we're very good. First things first, Natalie, we can hear you fine, so I hope you can hear us okay. First things first, congratulations, Burnley are going up.
Yes,
Hey.
that was what a bad weekend I chose to disappear for the weekend and come here. It was looking like it was going to be the Reading game. So I thought I was safe this weekend. As it turned out, they just decided to get it done. So I actually missed it on Friday, but I managed to get back to the room in time to watch the game. And it was funny, really. I didn't know whether it would be a bit of an anticlimax when it finally happened, because it's been so obvious for such a long time now that it was almost like an air of inevitability about it. So I was just like, it almost felt like a formality. But the last 10 minutes of the game, I had my watch on and my heart rate was like 117 beats per minute, and it was
Natalie, this is the standard patter we've already heard you pour out on BBC Sounds. I mean, we've already heard
All the
this
channels,
stuff on
the
Live.
channels.
Yeah. Have you not got anything more interesting? You know, something new to tell us about?
I can no. Yeah, no, sorry. It's I feel like I've done that many things in the last 48 hours. I'm forgetting who I've told what to. So you'll have to hear it again.
You got to do a podcast with Sam Vokes. I mean, that's it's as good as it gets.
Yeah,
isn't it?
And now we're getting recycled old material. It's not good enough, really.
That's true.
We expect better, Nat.
Sorry. I mean, the police lifted the restraining order for about 24 hours just to let me do a podcast with Sam. But, they didn't tell me that he was on until I was on air. And I was all right. It was about the third thing that I'd done. So I was like starting to, and it was like getting a little bit tired. I was like a bit calmer. And then I was in the green room waiting to come on. And they were just like, oh, yeah, we've got Sam Vokes on. And I was like, and I massively fangirled. It was really quite embarrassing. But yeah, it's been really good. It's been, and I think now beat Sheffield United on Monday, and then I think we'll probably lift the title at Reading. So yeah, exciting times. I love it.
Awesome stuff. But you are over in Dublin. You're been playing a number of the Irish Open events. How has it been over in Dublin?
Really, really, really miserable from a poker perspective. I have literally had my backside handed to me, and everything I've played, I've completely bricked everything. And yeah, it's been a pretty miserable weekend of poker. But it started on Thursday with the ladies event, which was a really great event. About 63 ladies came out. A lot from the UK flew over. So a lot of my friends were here. That was a really great tournament. And then, yeah, I kind of got a bit of a cooler out of that one, and that set the tone for the weekend. However, I was surprised on what day is it? What day is it? Is it Sunday? Yeah, whatever. Sunday. Thursday, whatever it was. Some really dear German friends of mine who I've not seen since pre-COVID landed in Dublin to surprise me, and that's just basically just been not doing everything you're supposed to do at the Irish Poker Open, not sleeping, drinking far too much, eating lots of pizza, and living my best life. So it's great. I've got to say, actually, the venue, they've moved venues this year. It used to be over at City West, like miles outside of Dublin. For the first time this year, and I'll show you in a second, I'll just turn my camera on so you can see it. So we're now at the Royal Dublin Society, which is this really beautiful building that you can see here. And it's the first year that PokerStars have been involved as well. And it's I'll show you where the main event. So like the main event stage, that's the main event now, the feature table that they're still doing. It's actually just like really in the heart of Dublin. So Dublin's maybe, not that I've been in Dublin yet, I literally haven't left this place yet. But tomorrow maybe. But it's a nicer venue, and yeah, stay here. It's been a really good. It's just such a. If I'm going to be super critical, I think they've cancelled a few side events just because numbers have been so bad. They've cut a lot of levels out of the side events, which has made them like hyper turbo structures, and they've maxed out on them. They tried to get through them as quickly as possible. So I'm not entirely sure it's been the best value festival. I think it's been a bit disappointing from a what's the word I'm looking for? I guess quality of game selection, apart from the main and maybe the Masters, the 550 side event. They were good structures.
The APAT.
So I think I wasn't here. Well, I wasn't here for that, but apparently Tom did really pester them because they were trying to force the same structures as side events on them, and he was like, absolutely not. And everybody was saying that I arrived as it was the final table was going on Thursday, and yeah, everybody said that was a really good structure. So well done, Tom, for getting that sorted. But yeah, it's been really good. Still a really great weekend. Lots of people here. And yeah, Easter in Dublin.
Is it going on? Is it going on until tomorrow, Natalie? I presume. Is it final table tomorrow?
Is it Sunday? I don't know what day it is.
It is definitely Sunday today. Yeah.
So tomorrow, tomorrow's Monday. So yeah, it's just tomorrow. There's more events tomorrow. I think tomorrow might be the last day. I've got the last flight out Dublin tomorrow night, so I might play something during the day, and we'll see.
Do you know where the last flight out of Dublin is going tomorrow? Or are you just on it? Are you hoping it's going somewhere near where you live, or are you just literally on the last plane out?
Or to Malaga, Leigh.
I mean, it sounded really good, didn't it? Like, I'm on the last plane out of Dublin. I don't know where it's going, but just got to get out.
I'm silly things. I meant the last flight to Manchester. Yeah, it's taking me somewhere north. Somewhere north is fine. Yeah, some point tomorrow I'll come home. I don't really know. Honestly, I need to get my act together tomorrow. This is terrible content. Like, listeners, like, just don't come to poker weekends and be absolute degenerates and drink too much and don't sleep. It's very, very bad example. I'm setting a bad example. But yeah, it's been good. The Irish Poker Tour and the IPO is just a really great event. And it's been really nice to have the APAT guys here as well. And a lot of the qualifiers here this year as well. I think Stars had about 300-400 packages, which was really, really great. So yeah, it's been a slightly different vibe this year, and it's been good. Yeah, I recommend people come.
Have you pre-planned holidays for next year, like, May 2024 for the Burnley relegation party?
Oh dear. Shade.
I'm literally not even going to grace that with a response. But I've not had 24 hours yet of excited. God, I look a right state. I've been drinking for like about an hour. I'm sorry, guys. This is terrible. I don't even bother brushing my hair. I come onto your show and I don't even make myself look presentable. I'm sorry.
No effort at all.
No effort. I used to make such an effort for APAT. Now I just rock up half court.
To be honest,
you are our roving reporter.
Absolutely.
This evening, so
you're calling us from Dublin. That's plenty of effort.
Indeed. Do you need to see anything else, or shall we let you go? I don't want to take up Dan and Dan's time.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Again,
I can't
I'm worried
say
I'm worried how Des might answer that.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not going on. Not after my Melinda Messenger post in the group.
Yeah,
but listen,
that wasn't
the
a very
jumper needs
relevant
11 out of 10. The jumper gets 11 out of 10.
Indeed.
Who gets 11 out of 10?
Your jumper.
Let's see that jumper. Is that
Brand reps. Hearts of Queens badge. We're representing while we're here.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Getting it done. Ace is sending you a message, Natalie. He said, good training for next weekend, in my opinion. What's happening next weekend? Oh, Blackpool. Is it Blackpool? Is that what we're talking about?
Is it APAT Blackpool?
It is APAT Blackpool, yeah.
It's my local is Blackpool, but I do have something on next weekend, so I might not be there for the whole weekend, but I will see what I can do. That's come around really quickly. I'd forgotten that was coming down.
April is absolutely chocker. So Tom flew back from Dublin today, and then he's up in Blackpool for next weekend, and then we're over in Malta for the at the end of the month as well. So really busy. Really busy April, and we keep adding more events in, Natalie. I mean, I don't know whether you've heard today. It might not have actually. The news might not have got to Dublin yet, but we've just announced today that we're going to be running an event at Goliath again.
No, you missed that last. Oh, amazing! We used to have one at Goliath, right?
We did for a number of years, but we've had a few years off. But we will be back. We will be back at Goliath this year. So
love it. Well, the Goliath schedule's just been announced today. I did see that because I saw it in the the Grosvenor Women's Poker Group. But I haven't paid any attention yet. I will do tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to be an adult. Tomorrow I'm going to go and do something. I'm going to get my acts together. I'm going to lay off the booze. I'm going to move away from the poker set. I'm going to be a grown adult tomorrow, and I'm going to sort my life out.
I'm going to drink all day in Temple Bar. Brilliant. Sounds like a plan.
It's terrible. I know. I do need to remember at some point that I'm a grown adult with responsibilities, and I need to get myself together. But you know what? It's a bit of escapism for the weekend. But no, it's good. So yeah, here we are. Irish Poker Open. All good. I don't think there's anything else to report really, other than maybe get it on your radars for next year, because it's a really great weekend. And I will see everybody hopefully next weekend at the APAT tour. That would be in Blackpool. Cool. That would be really exciting. And in the meantime, I'm going to go and celebrate Burnley being in the Premier League, and it's going to be amazing. So despite Dan trying to do a downer on me, I'm not listening to Dan. I'm gonna live in my fields for a while. So lots of love, everybody.
Lovely. Thanks very much, Natalie, and we'll catch up with you soon. Brilliant. Cheers, Natalie. Take care.
Cheers, Natalie. There we go, Natalie in Dublin. It's nice that I really like when somebody calls in from somewhere, particularly if there's poker going on.
I saw the I saw the photo and loads of the photos, obviously loads of content from the APAT event, and the rooms do look great. It looks really well set up there. I mean, the feedback I think is from the industry. What have the poker news guys said, Dan, who've been involved with stuff? Are they kind of got good feedback about what's been set up and the new venue?
Yeah, feedback on the venue is pretty positive. From what I can see, obviously we've sent a small team out there that are working tirelessly on the main event, which has been quite exciting. I don't think there's that many players left today, right? There could only be sort of, I don't know, maybe 30 or 40 left at this point. I was following the updates earlier, but yeah, it all seems pretty positive. I think it's something that we'll be covering year on year, so it's good to see a lot of.
But they've broken records again. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
well,
yeah,
isn't everything breaking records at the moment though? I feel like every
poker's in a good spot at the moment.
It's just destroying it. And I think, like you said, it's crazy for you guys, but the fact that this month you've got 3 events back to back, from Ireland to Malta and Blackpool. But it's exciting, right? There's a lot of poker to be had. A lot of people are.
It's safe to say live poker's had a massive resurgence, right?
Yeah. Oh, don't forget we were at Asper's 2 weeks ago. I mean, was it 2 or was it like 1 week ago? 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Is that like 4 events in 5 or 6 weeks?
Yeah,
it's just insane.
But what do you think? What do you think the reason is for that? It can't just be COVID, where nobody was playing for a chunk of time, and all of a sudden everyone's got back playing. It does feel like it's like a mini live boom has taken over again, and it is. There's got to have been an influx. Is it just players that hadn't played for even longer than that have decided to come back and play again? What do you think's caused it?
I think a lot of players have taken up the game over COVID. You know, if you think back to kind of what the online poker rooms initiatives were during the COVID time, there was a lot of upgrades to like these home game platforms on Stars, and you know, Party introduced theirs, 888 have got their own. I think a lot of people have just sort of taken up the game for something to do during COVID with maybe some friends that used to play somewhat semi-serious. And those smaller circles have got bigger and bigger, and now it's a good way to utilize a bit of time with your friends, right? So
yeah.
I think that's probably got something to do with it. I know I've got groups of friends where maybe 2 or 3 were avid poker players recreationally, and some of their friends maybe just fell along for the ride during COVID, playing every week for something to do on Zoom and having a chat. And a lot of those players are now, you know, going to their local casino or going to like a smaller buy-in tour and just having a bit of fun with it. So I think we've got a whole new audience that we're reaching in the industry, which is really exciting.
Yeah, good times indeed. Now let's just go to our chat box right for a minute, because we've ignored somewhat rudely the chat box this evening thus far. So good evening to everybody who said good evening in the chat box, and to the rest of you guys out there. So Simon, the Oracle, is waiting to hear if he's been called up to play for. Well, I assume it's England, right? I think it's safe to assume that's England.
No, that's to go in goal for Nottingham Forest, I think.
To be honest, he might get a game. Wayne Parker should be with us at around 10:30. That's about 7-8 minutes time, and he'll be announcing the England.
With the amount of signings that he've had, I'm surprised he hasn't had a call up.
So Simon is waiting to hear whether he's been called up. Dad and Lani, APAT, what's up, guys? Hello, Dad and Lani. Hope you're having a good time wherever you are. That was on YouTube, I believe. Asa, good training for next weekend. So that was Natalie, her training ahead of Blackpool. Simon was talking about the UK COAP. Had 8 game 1 year at Goliath. Did we mention that as part of the UK COAP?
Yeah, well, we did do an 8 game at Goliath 1 year. That he is quite correct. That was a cracking event. Yeah.
But let's talk about the exciting stuff. Mixed games back on a schedule. What's that about?
Let's tell you what. Let me just finish off on these comments, and then we'll come on to that UK COAP schedule. So, Simon, just a little bit of an update on the Irish Open. So, 23 left on the live stream. They're playing down to a final table tonight. So, obviously, seriously at the business end there tonight. Do we know what the winner's walking away with at the Irish Open main event?
300 and something.
325.
325, something like that.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? That would be nice. Thank you very much. And Adam Sharples, hello from a plane waiting to take off. There you go. We are pre-flight entertainment. Fantastic.
If you could now switch your phone to flight mode, that would be
detail.
Ladies and gentlemen,
they're having to wait for him to finish the stream.
Working wasn't a good career path.
No. Apparently, Simon, well-known APATer Andy Black, going well.
Yeah, with his interesting hand with him. Well, not with him. There was I don't know if you saw the hand where Sprague's wife Marley busted late yesterday, where she had aces on like a 999 something board. And the other guy's got 10-9, and it all goes in. It's like two or three hands from the end of the day. And you just hear Andy Black on the table going, well, I knew you had a 9 to this guy. And it was like, oh, Mr. Black, you haven't changed a bit. You haven't changed a bit, of course. Of course, he had a 9. But he did have a royal flush today. He knocked out Conor Beresford, ace-10 versus ace-10, and made a royal flush, and proceeded to wander around the whole of the card room or arena, as it were, to tell pretty much anybody that would listen he had a royal flush. So
what you're saying is you don't have to play well, you just have to run well.
I wouldn't know. Right. I wouldn't know, Dan. I wouldn't know.
Absolutely right.
I don't know what that's like.
He says, with that big bracelet on his arm.
Simon says to get Andy Black on the podcast if he wins. Well, yeah, he was meant to call in tonight, but I'm not sure, Leigh. What do you reckon?
It's
get him for about 2 minutes.
Tuesday nights. He only does Tuesday nights. That's how it works. Unfortunately, we don't do a show on a Tuesday, but yeah, other than that, he's booked.
He's booked.
That's all we can say. Yeah, not a problem.
He's in the diary. What the hell is happening in the golf? I don't know how many of you out there are watching this, but
I need to check.
Phil Mickelson now in second place.
What?
What the actual hell? Well, joint second, in fairness, at 8 under. He's in the clubhouse with a 65 today. He's declared on 8 under. 2 behind Ram, who's on the 10th. I mean,
eight unders. Yeah, but 8 under's not going to he's not going to win it, though, is it?
Well, it depends on whether Ram can get through the back 9 with, a score of better than 1 over.
I've got to be honest, from what the scores are being posted, the back 9 looks really tough. And
It does.
Evans is a bit of a scalp, so I wouldn't rule it out.
So Mickelson has done today's round, and granted they've done a round and a half, right? 65, so 7 under for the 4th round. That's insane.
Well, how did they split down? How did they split the final round in the end? Because I'm assuming some teed off on the 10th and effectively have done the back.
Obviously, the people who had to finish off yesterday got out there really early.
Okay.
They say what a difference a day makes, and there was chalk and cheese. There was no way you could play golf yesterday, and so they've got out this morning, but they've been severely compromised by playing in a course that's been damaged significantly by the weather, and the people who've gone out today are actually still feeling the effects of the fact that you're probably 20, 30 yards back as where you were yesterday. Do you think there aren't going to be huge scores posted today?
Do you think what's happened has created an unlevel playing field? So there's a significant benefit depending on when you've teed off and what or where you've now fit.
Massively. The later you go off, the harder it is for you.
So obviously, normally in a golf tournament when you're playing 4 rounds, it kind of balances itself out, and probably there's not a huge amount of benefit to be had. But with the weather and what's gone on the last few days, you'd say that it's made a massive difference to how this will play out. Yeah,
it's probably weather and pressure. It's a mixture of the both. I'd say Phil has had an exceptional round. If you look at the scores that have been posted for round 4.
Yeah, okay, seems to have.
Obviously, there were several good rounds in the first 36 holes. But actually, if you look at what Phil has done today, and he's been there, done that, and everybody knows that he's capable of it. Obviously, there's a big there's been a big lot of controversy for the last couple of weeks about Live Golf against the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
and it just shows that you've got Brooks and Phil, both Live players, who have actually really. They're trying to say that it's not real golf, but they've actually posted tremendous scores. So, yeah, don't get me wrong, the course is actually probably playing a little bit more level than it has done earlier. However, the pressure is now on the leaders to actually try and maintain them scores that they had. I know Brooks has been struggling, and it's going to make for a really interesting. I think there's going to be a few more twists before this one plays out.
I would agree. Yeah, I would have thought so. It's looking that way, isn't it? And it doesn't make any difference, Dan. The fact that they're ending up playing a round and a half. Some of them a little more than a round and a half. It's high pressure golf, back to back. I mean, an extra 9 holes isn't going to sort of overly tax these lads, but.
Yes and no. I mean, you can actually argue it both ways here. If you've gone out and played your last, 8-9 holes from yesterday, and you played them this morning, you've got a fairly good idea how the course is playing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
However, you've also got to play 27 holes in a day.
Yeah.
So you've got the fatigue side of everything, and you've got that element that brings into it. So I'm guessing it brings in a positive and a negative, but actually at this point. In the tournament, actually, you just have to bring your A game, and it's whatever you can do to adjust and make sure that you play to the to your strength and how the best that you can at this time in the tournament.
I'm just looking at the in-play betting at the moment, and Rahm is odds on to win it.
Well, I managed to pick up Henley, who's tied 4th at the moment. I got him at 125 to 1 at the start. So if we can, I know nothing about golf. Somebody told me he was all right, so I went with it. So if he can put some balls in some holes really quickly, that'd be great.
Speed doesn't really help.
Okay. If he can put them in delicately, then that would be great.
If he just put them in.
Yeah, that would do.
If he can put them in few shots, I think ideally that's what you're looking for. Unfortunately for Adam, they're pushing back his flight now. Taxiing to the runways. He's going to miss Wayne's announcement. Cheers for the pre-flight entertainment, lads. And I'll try to catch the rest of the show on catch-up.
And that's just as Wayne comes back into the studio, Des, if you hadn't noticed. So,
there he is. Oh, there he is. Let's get Wayne on the big screen. There he is. Wayne Parker, everybody. Welcome to the show. Is this your debut on Vision on the show, Wayne?
It is.
Far too long.
Nice to see you finally got a good-looking guest.
It's been far too long, Wayne. One of our most successful players, and of course, a long time APATer. Captain in England for the first time, right? At the WCOAP, upcoming in late August at Dusk Till Dawn. England haven't won at the WCOAP main sort of team event, if you like, Wayne, since 2013. So it's been a while, and that team, those lads, still talk very, very fondly about their win. What do you think of your team's chances before you even tell us what the team are? I mean, how confident? I mean, how are you approaching that event?
Well, obviously we're going to win. Simple as that. My thinking behind it was, what team do I go with? First of all, do I go with myself and 3 others new players?
Yep.
Or do I go with tried and tested team? And I've gone for a mixture of both. Some's played before, and there's me and another one who's never played before.
So 2 new caps. 2 new caps. Wayne, of course, is one of them. So we get another debutant. Okay, Wayne, why don't you tell us what your team is, and I'm sure we'll give you some feedback. Understanding, of course, that one Mr. Dan Owston there will be one of your biggest competitors for this title, captain of the Welsh team, of course.
He's not.
Dan's Dan's just
gone off to get his medals, has he?
He's gone off to get There
we go. There we go.
Yeah.
I reckon Dan's got a list. So if Wayne picks A, I pick B.
Yeah.
If I was going to get the medals, I'll just go and get my 18 shot.
Hey! Yes.
So maybe before you announce the team,
Don't make me get my bracelets out.
You've had a ton of success in team events, right? You're probably certainly one of our most decorated players in team events. 3 UK team goals, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yes.
You've had deep runs at the WC main event. I mean, you've proven yourself all over the place. How did you go about getting the captaincy?
I've absolutely no idea. I
assume you got a call from the
the
APAT England team equivalent of the PFA.
Yeah, I got a call from Tom. I couldn't believe what he was saying at first, because when he phoned me, it was about 2 weeks before the team game, and I thought he was going to talk about that. And then when he asked about the England, I thought, "Are you sure?" But yeah, I was quite surprised when he asked me.
Oh well deserved, well deserved, and excitement at home. I mean, have you told any of your mates that you're going to be captain in England at a big poker event?
Yeah, but none of them are bothered about the poker anyway, so.
No love. They're tough. They're tough up in Wakefield. Still in Wakefield, Wayne, right?
I live in Wakefield, yeah. But
they're tough up there. There's no romance in Wakefield.
I went rushing into the office and shouting, "I'm going to be England captain," and they went, "Oh yeah, okay." And then just continued.
Yeah.
Great.
Fantastic. So, what was your process in terms of, appointing your team then? Because obviously, Paul Haycock enjoyed the longest England captaincy of all players who went through COVID and what have you. He had a long time to sit on final decisions and stuff. How did you go about selecting your team? We understand, obviously, you've got 2 new players, including yourself, 2 existing players. Did you go out to the base? Did you decide who you wanted to go to and directly do that, or what did you do?
Well, I think it was about 6 weeks ago, you had Paul on talking about this, and he had about 100 and odd applicants when he did try, which scared me. And I already had a few people in mind in a way. But as soon as my name got out, I had loads of people coming through, direct messaging me. So I had no need to post. So I already had loads to pick from.
So can I just tell you, just to give you a sense, Adam Sharples, I don't know if you've seen this, Adam Sharples is just getting on a flight well, I don't know where he's leaving from. He's going to Dublin, I believe. But pushing back and taxiing to the runway. So I'm going to miss Wayne's announcement. Cheers for the pre-flight entertainment. So you've got a bunch of people out there who are nervously awaiting this release you're about to make. So let's put them out of their misery. Let's announce this team. So starting with yourself.
Well, there you go then, myself.
Yeah.
First time I've joined. I won't put my name in particular order. The first one I've got down is Danny Strange.
Ah, okay.
I believe he's been playing APAT now for about 6-7 years. The main reason I picked him is he's good with the mixed games. So I'm targeting the PLO or PLO8. I'm presuming they're going to be still in this year. We've not had the actual
we've cancelled all
schedule yet. Yeah.
Not doing any of that.
No,
We face Chinese this year.
Yeah. Snap, Uno, and yeah.
And
happy
Panini
sticker,
football stickers. We're doing those.
Crazy pineapple, right? Crazy pineapple.
Yeah. It's basically top trumps. That's what we're doing. Yeah. So
yeah, we're trying to make poker great again.
A good choice of Danny. Obviously, Danny's played plenty of events at the Worlds over the years, and does enjoy the variants. So I can understand, Wayne, why you'd go down that route. So an excellent choice.
And if
it's Pokemon cards, I've got loads of them. If the kids are obsessed.
But have you got a 9? Have you got a 9.8 Charizard?
They don't exist 9.8. No.
Gents, come on now. We're making an England announcement here, and we've broken into Pokemon. Come on, Wayne. Back to you, sir. So Danny Strange. So yeah, good, solid selection, I'd say.
Yep. My next selection, I've gone for Matt Carter.
Oh, he likes a good structure.
I think this is the third time he's actually been for England, so that must be a first as well.
Well, Matt's a good lad. Lots of experience there. What are you thinking in particular for Matt? Are you thinking the mixed games, the Hold'em, experience generally?
It'll be for the Hold'em. When I first thought about this, I could have gone down the line of just picking all the best players for who's won the medals and so forth. But I wanted a team. I wanted people who I particularly know and get on with as well. Yeah. I just didn't want 4 individuals. And I get on with Matt quite a lot. We've played regularly in teams. I think the first time was the London Poker Meetup.
2010, I want to say, or 2011.
Yeah,
2011
we
probably.
That year. So,
yeah, I remember presenting that trophy. And like yourself, Wayne, Matt has had some very deep runs at WCOAP main event as well. So, top player. No questions there.
And my fourth one, who actually played in the 2013 England team, is McGrath.
Solid selection. A double bracelet winner in a single day, and of course, bracelet winner with England in 2013.
And for the reason, basically for those, obviously a mixed game player again, pot limit, Omar. So that's the reason I picked him.
Fantastic. So you've got a, despite the fact that maybe yourself and Danny are making your debut, you've got a very experienced team there. So what's the plan now between here and, if you like, the end of August and doing the thing together? Are you going to talk tactics at any point, or are you going to leave that till you all arrive at Dusk Till Dawn, or what does one do as a captain, really? How do you plan that?
Good question. More than likely, it'll just be left until the actual day, because unfortunately, I can't make the Blackpool nor the Dusk Till Dawn one. But obviously, you just announced the Coventry one today, so I might be able to make that one. I haven't decided yet.
Well, you can do Zoom calls, right? You can do Zoom calls and do all sorts of get-togethers.
I mean, they can teach me how to play, so I don't think there'll be much tactics going off.
So what do you think, Dan? Let's get a first comment from you. That's the England team that you'll have to potentially beat to take gold at Dusk Till Dawn. What do you think of Wayne's selections? Because you know all of these guys, having played with them over the years.
I think they're all absolutely well-worthy selections. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
Proven individuals, people with pedigree within the APAT tournament system, and I've just grown in confidence by about 300% in the last 6 minutes.
Oh, right at the very end there, he just absolutely hammered you, Wayne. It was so subtle. It was so unfair.
You do realise that comment is waiting to be shot down over the next 5 months.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. Well, I tell you what. Listen, Wayne, can you stay with us for another 5 or 10 minutes?
Yeah. I'm fine.
Great. Look, you look super relaxed there, super relaxed. So why don't we switch the tables around here a little bit? Let's see if I can't. There we go. Put Dan center stage, and maybe, Dan, you could reveal to us the Welsh team to take part at the WCOAP in late August.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to reveal the winning team for the WCOAP. And I would wish Wayne and his team all the best in, trying to compete for the silver medal and above.
It's like he's prepared this.
I meant below. And my first pick, sadly, denied his place because he's taking place on the show tonight, and he's probably one of Wales's most decorated and definitely most successful players. And I was refused by Leigh Wiltshire.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he declined.
I made the simple point. There was nobody else who could do the spreadsheet work.
It's a reasonable point. I like your thinking, though, to have control over the guy who does the spreadsheet. That's brilliant.
Well, I thought I might get an extra couple of points, which may come in handy at the time. And believe it or not, it was even though when I reveal the team, it may seem like it was that easy. It really wasn't. I mean, there's. From a tiny nation, I know we've only got a couple of million to choose from as opposed to 60. But there's a wealth of talent that's run through Wales in the APAT community from a long way back. You'll know an awful lot of them that have done incredible things. So there were an awful lot of considerations. And I even had a discussion with Leigh, and probably... I was even considering not being a member of myself, but I am going to be a playing member of this team.
Yeah. So Dan, you are seat number one.
It genuinely was a discussion, but we can confirm Dan Owston is seat one. Yeah,
it genuinely was a discussion, and actually, there's a lot to live up to being part of this Welsh team because of the success in the past.
But Dan, you've been a significant part of that success in the past, right? You've won gold medals for Wales at the team event twice, if I'm not mistaken. The Welsh team's been incredible at team events. There's been a ton of success, and of course,
as you need a recount, Des. I think you need a recount.
Did you win 3 of them?
I
can't remember because the team changed a bit. You got 3.
I think I've got 3 if you include the home international.
Oh, right. No, I meant at the WCOAP team. So the world team. You got 2 of those, just the 2. But that's more medals than the entire England nation combined. It's just incredible. Now, as the sort of current WCOAP main event champion, I mean, it would have been really hard to leave yourself out, wouldn't it?
Yes and no. I mean, obviously, I want to be part of a successful Welsh team, like everybody else does. However, there's a myriad of people to choose from. There's a wealth of talent out there, and I have to take into consideration that maybe I might not be. I haven't played an awful lot of poker in the last few years, and maybe I might not be the best man for the job. But I've been told that I need to be part of this team. So I'm going to do my best. I think the pressure is on because there's no going up from here from a team that's initially won things. You can only go downwards, but we are going to give it our best shot.
So who's going to line up alongside you then, Dan? Who did you go for in the end? Unlike a lot of teams, every single person I've chosen has previously represented Wales at some point in their career. Firstly, I've chosen somebody who's been with APAT from pretty much its inception, has also been part of a medal-winning team on numerous occasions, and has also, within the online leagues, proved once again that he's still excelled himself, and it's Richard Ruddingsmith.
Yeah, Rudders. No surprise. No surprise.
It's no surprise because of the consistency that the man has showed over the last 15 years. Is something that it probably needs in order to be successful in a competition like this, and I've no doubt that he will continue to A, do his best, but B, provide that that consistent level that he always has done. And probably another one that's not going to be a surprise is another person that I played with an awful lot over my career. Again, somebody who's consistently performed within the online leagues in the last 18 months, and has got a great record within the Welsh team historically, and that's Dylan Herbert.
Dylan, yeah. Again, I'm not surprised. It's like you know, stepping back in time, you see the dream team reforming.
It is. It's definitely more the dream team than the Dream Boys. I got to be honest.
Oh, definitely not Dream Boys. No, not a single Dream Boy in there, but Dream Team certainly. A lot of experience.
We are going to save a Dream Boy for pick number 4.
Oh, hello. Here we go.
And pick number 4 is somebody who's probably reliving a dream, and somebody that hasn't been involved in the leagues for a couple of years. And probably you may not remember if you're quite new to APAT. But pick number 4 for the Welsh team. He does have a little bit of pedigree within APAT. He may have won an event at some point in his career. And he's definitely somebody to be feared on the online felt. And the 4th pick is going to be a lad called Benjamin Young.
Oh, blast for the past.
Oh, Ben Young. Wow. 2 national events back to back, if I'm not mistaken. What, Leigh 2012, 2011, 2012? Yeah. Wow. Yeah, Ben made quite a splash when he joined APAT initially. Quite a splash.
Yeah, I was on the final table with him.
And probably not somebody who was consistently, and obviously somebody who's been off the poker scene for a significant amount of time as well. So some may say it's a wild card, and it probably is.
Yeah.
It's somebody that I played consistently with back a long time ago, and we definitely learned quite a lot off each other. And somebody whose poker brain is probably, to me, up there with the best of them, and it's definitely one to be feared.
Yeah.
So it's a cracking team there, Dan. I mean, Wayne, I heard you say you played on a final table with Ben. So what do you make of that Welsh team then, from an England perspective?
Yeah, I played with him. Like I said, the first time when I came third, he won the event, and he got lucky on me with aces, as always. So I'm not
devastating when that happens.
So I'm not worried about him. What is he? Did he captain the APAT team after you, Leigh?
I don't know whether Rudders has captained the APAT team or not. He might well have done in
Rudders
the following
was captain of the online.
Oh, Rudders captained the Welsh online team. Yeah, definitely that. I'm not sure whether he captained the APAT team or not. I can't remember.
I don't think so, from memory.
Right, okay.
But an incredibly experienced selection there. Wayne, what's your thinking? Can you guys get silver or bronze, maybe?
I mean, it doesn't really matter who picks what. I'm all about is my team.
Wait.
So it's simple as that.
There's a red flag if you want one.
I mean, I guess what we should really ask both yourself, Wayne, and Dan is obviously the reigning champions are Scotland, and I'm assuming that Ben will be pretty much putting the same four in for another shot at retaining the retaining the title. Obviously, they just pipped England to the gold medal last year. Surely they're the ones to have got to be the favourites. Would you say?
Absolutely not.
What do you think, Wayne? Any fear of the Scots?
Is that no comment?
He's not saying anything.
I could just say I'm not bothered about other teams. You can put whoever you want up. All I'm bothered about is my three and myself.
I like it. Leigh, are the Germans going to turn up with pro footballers? I mean, what's the plan? Do we know?
There is always that possibility. You never quite know what will happen as the teams obviously, and I also know. I mean, we are opening up the team, so there will be a lot more teams playing in August at Dusk Till Dawn. I know we've got a US team. I've seen the US team. Des, that's a strong team.
Is it a strong team?
You got to remember,
it is a very strong team.
I've just seen that Carey's posted up a few minutes ago asking whether she could put a US team in.
If you're gonna let professional footballers in, there's a high chance that they're gonna cruise to first place.
Oh, I like what he did there.
Very nice,
Boom,
done.
cruise.
Nicely done.
So what can you tell us about the American team, Leigh? Seriously, do we have a
there
team?
is. Yeah, no, it's pretty much locked up. Tom will Tom's hopefully going to be making an announcement in the next few days with just confirming some of the other countries that are definitely now in. It's all starting to build up. Obviously the kind of the home nations teams are always kind of locked in, and so they'll get their teams together pretty quickly. Whereas some of the others say we're just tying up a few things. I know the German team, I believe, is being selected using one of the local clubs. One of the poker clubs are running tournaments to qualify for that team. So they're taking it very, very seriously this year and looking to put a team together that will have actually kind of earned the right to wear the German shirt at Dusk Till Dawn. So it's going to be super exciting, and definitely we're very much back now with kind of maximum countries, and it's going to be a superb event. It's a great couple of days it'll be.
And Leigh, we've teased over the last few weeks that we're going to see the likes of Horse and the 8 game and all of that good stuff coming back at Dusk Till Dawn in August at the WCOAP alongside the team event. But we announced today the UK COAP schedule. Seemed to be a pretty good reaction to that on the forum or on the Facebook group. What can you tell us about that structure?
Yeah, so that's all the details are out there for that in May. So it runs from the May to the Wednesday to the Sunday, to 17th to 21st. So yeah, we've got PLO championship, triple stud championship, we've got a high roller in there, horse championship, round of each championship, bounty hunter, and then on the Sunday we've also got a deep and steep to finish the weekend off. There are 4 day ones for the main event, which is our standard now daily freeze out on that, so you can't re-enter on any same flight. So yeah, really massively looking forward to that at Dusk Till Dawn, and it's very much getting back to the way we are with variants and all the cool events that you kind of have got used to playing at the kind of more festival style APAT events.
And just for any of the guys who are concerned about structures and stuff, because obviously we do see the queries on the structures, and yes, I'll react from time to time as I did this evening, but a lot of head-to-head, tete-a-tete goes into the discussions with the likes of Dusk Till Dawn on those structures. So our operations would always want to pare them back further, give less play. Because of where the overall market is, it always takes a hell of a lot of work to get to the point of what we put out there.
I think Natalie touched on it when she called in from Dublin. The feedback from Dublin was that the APAT side of, or, as part of the side event schedule at the IPO was better than most of the others, because we do push and we do try and get the best we possibly can. I think what I would always say with our structures is they have changed massively in the last sort of 18 months from where we were. And a change doesn't always mean it's a bad thing. You've got to play it. You've actually got to go and play them and play the new way we're playing them now, where we're playing a day one down to 15% of the field and in the money. And the way that plays. And we're genuinely getting really, really positive feedback from people. But we're getting, the important is we're getting feedback as well. So we do listen to what players say. I think it's very difficult for people to just comment unless they've actually played some of these and actually understood how it plays, because actually most of the time a day one is playing possibly better than it ever used to with APAT events. And we're certainly giving more flexibility in what players can play and kind of making the most of their weekends when they're going away, because it's not cheap these days to get away for a poker weekend, the additional costs that come with it. So so keep the feedback coming, but all I would say is play them and let us know your thoughts once you've kind of you've got a few under your belt.
The feedback that I've picked up from the venues where we are hosting, Aspers, for example, 2 weekends ago, the feedback from the players who were playing was exceptional. They said, I can't believe we're getting this type of structure for £100. And the start of day two, we're rolling back the levels, we're ensuring that everybody has a minimum number of big blinds going into day two, they're already in the money. They have been working really well. Let's go to the chat box. Okay, so just going back over the last 20 or 30 minutes, so talking team selections and into WCOAPs and stuff. Lisa Greer is first up. Hello, so excited about the up-and-coming schedule. Tuned in, watching the show, whilst, of course, playing a little home game with Ben, Danny, Michael, Anthony, Matthew, and Dan Bradshaw. So a bunch of the guys playing a home game with Lisa. And a big welcome to Danny Strange.
Is that Danny Strange already in boot camp?
England international Danny Strange.
Is that England boot camp? Yeah, he's in training.
I'm glad to see that Matty Carter is out there, lol, Des. So we're back being mates again, which is, to be honest, how I'd want it to be. So good to see Matt getting his, I don't know, it must be his third selection for England? With the home internationals, probably third. Simon talks about anniversary of his double today. So we're talking about Ace's double bracelet in a day. I think, Leigh, did that happen at Aspers? Or was that in Manchester?
No, that was up in Manchester.
That was in Manchester.
Very New Road.
Yeah. Hopefully Ace is still up, because I know he's a 5 a.m. start on a Monday, so he tends to disappear a bit early. Simon says, is Dan wearing the test card? Oh, that's too funny. Danny Strange thanking you. So he's thanking Lisa, and well done, Danny, again. Mr. Brooke is there. Owston's captain in Wales. Always assumed he was English. Oh, it's all happening. Triplin says, good luck to the English guys, and a shout out to Danny, first cap. Nicely said, Tris. Tomo said, that's a good Welsh team. That's a very succinctly put understatement there. That is indeed a good Welsh team. Mr. Brooks says, Wales installed as Brookie's favourites as soon as Ben Young announced. So that young whippersnapper Ben Young, who is probably in his mid-40s now, because it's been a while, right? It's been a while since we've seen Ben Young. Well, maybe not in his mid-40s. Triplin said, but bit before my time with Ben, but a member of the two-time live event wins, I believe, so must be a decent and obviously a strong Welsh side. Good luck, guys. Was Ben a member? I know he was in the home international teams. Did he play in the team that won gold, Dan? I don't think he did he?
No, I think he just played the home internationals for once. Yeah,
I think he did.
So he was in the B team in the home internationals.
Yeah,
winning A team.
Didn't even make the A team.
It was up and coming. It was just up and coming at the time.
Rodders, young Rodders, and Darren Shallis probably.
Yeah, Darren. Warren. Warren would have been around that time as well.
From in Wales, so.
Yeah. Simon
so
asked,
Matt Carter's in the chat and says, it'll be his 4th cap with the home internationals. So Worlds in
brilliant.
16 and 17, and then 4th cap, which is extraordinary actually for an England player.
Yeah,
that is quite extraordinary actually, because the pool of players to select from there, and you do. I mean, I guess when you were going through it, Wayne, I know when Paul picked last year, we had lots of chats about it, and he really wanted to pick players that hadn't ever represented England before and give them a shot at it. It's the list of who you could choose from is just ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, like I said earlier, I didn't even need to post. As soon as my name got out, I had loads of direct messages, and straight away the pool I had to pick from was huge. So, like I said, I went to the people who I trusted and who I know. Picking people who I didn't know is not really good. If they're decent people, they should be being picked.
Yeah.
But I needed a team. I wanted a team, not individuals. So I stuck with the people I knew.
So
I'm really worried. I'm really worried he was getting pestered. Should we have moved him to the APAT safe house, Des, whilst he was going through this process?
It's not too late. He may need to move now that he's actually announced.
Should we have given him some sort of protection? Yeah.
We know we've got Adam Sharples out there on a plane. I think we need to move Wayne out of Wakefield at the moment. We don't want anything like that happening. Super. Okay, so I think that's it from the chat box. All good. Where to next, Leigh?
Well, I was just going to touch a little bit on, because Dan did mention it earlier on, and obviously, you said it's great to have the variants back, Dan. And what are you looking forward to playing at the UK's, and obviously, hopefully, what we'll then get at the Worlds as well?
Well, it's the timing of the event's not ideal for me. I think I fly to Disneyland just as it finishes, so I'm having to. Basically, Des, this is my reach out to you at this moment. Can we book a work meeting? Because I might need one to justify it. But
I think we do. We need a work meeting, Dan. I was going to suggest that.
See, perfect. I like the way you think. But yeah, so I'm going to come down and probably play the main and the horse. I think they'll be the two that I get to play. I'm gutted I'll miss the triple stud. I think that's probably my favorite variant. But it's just good to see that, these card rooms are putting time into getting the new dealers that we know that we are now kind of subject to up to speed on these variants. And I think it just, not just for APAT as a tool, which obviously relies on these dealers to be able to deal these games for us all to enjoy them at the UK's and the Worlds. I think it's great because hopefully this means all these festivals that are being hosted around the UK will have the opportunity to kind of put these events on, which for me are really exciting. I don't get a lot of time to go and fornicate live poker, but when I do, I'd much rather go and play some variants as opposed to just boring old Hold'em that you can.
Well, I genuinely variant is there. I mean, obviously, Robbie Straczynski, obviously friend of the show, and we've done the Orbit and stuff with him. He does a really good mixed game festival now that I think he's now on its 4th or 5th incarnation around the world. He's done an event in Malta, and I think he's looking to try and do something in the UK at some point. And it's great. Yeah, and it's great that gives players a chance to play them at sensible buy-ins and not the kind of the astronomical, World Series kind of buy-ins. So I think it's a good way of getting to play something a little bit different and not just the 2-card variants.
I think that's another point I would make here is that if you think of the amount of poker that Dusk Till Dawn put on, for example, and if you think how specialist they are in poker, I mean, it's completely what they do. No casino, no distractions now, which is great to see. I don't know when they last did a horse event, quite probably with APAT. And we're going to have a big schedule for the WCOAP, and obviously you've seen elements of that in the UK as well. So it's great for us to be bouncing back with the venues and getting some of these mixed games back on again. That's fantastic. It's also nice that Grosvenor are now keen to have APAT back and doing events and stuff like that. This is really nice. So I think it's a sign that the market's beginning to come back a bit in terms of people beginning to reinvest back in poker, or dealers in particular. No, it's dealers, staff that you need.
I think what's really interesting is I remember pre-COVID, you deal by your top-end dealers that would travel with all the tours. A lot of dealers were kind of stuck to their venue, whereas I think since COVID now, you seem to see you've got this core group of dealers that are just traveling around the country freelance.
Yeah.
So, if they're getting up to speed with all the variants, it does mean that the opportunity for all these tools will be to, be able to put these variants on, which I think is really exciting. I mean, I'm off to Malta, and even in that festival, there's a horse event, but that's the only variant that Malta are putting on, and you think that tool's been going strong for however many years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'd imagine that the Maltese contingents has their core dealer base there, and that's all that they can manage to put on. So, it's exciting.
If you can deal horse, you can deal pretty much anything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Horse is tough.
Yeah. Well, it involves a lot of everything.
If you're
going
to deal and you're going to be competent enough to deal horse, I think you're going to be competent enough to, at least deal, PLO, PLO8. Raz.
Yeah, but we need Deuce to 7 back. That's what we need. That's the best game.
Yeah, well, I don't see an issue with Deuce to 7.
Listen, guys. I've got something for you. So Leigh and I know a guy, not particularly well, but a little bit. You might know him, Dan. A guy called Tom Wheaton. He runs an agency in the States, Above the Felt. Good bunch of guys. They have the likes of Chris Moneymaker, who plays for them or is part of that agency. And he's bringing out a new poker documentary. Now, we always like this sort of stuff, right? It's going to launch, I think, on the 14th, which is Friday, on YouTube. Got a little promo for this. I want to run this just to make you aware of it, because, again, we all watch a lot of streamed cash tables and stuff like that, but sometimes it can be interesting to get some player perspective stories. So let me roll this here.
When you play a poker tournament, 85% of the time you're going home broke.
This is part of the game. You can't be results oriented, where you can play well and lose for a long period of time, and you have to be willing to sustain that.
Well, how do you learn to deal with the shit that luck is going to throw in your way? Because, let's face it, it's going to throw some stuff your way.
Right, you just show up, you study, you still lose, and you show up with a smile again tomorrow.
I just set out to play poker. I was like, I want to play poker, win at poker, make some friends. I don't know, get into tournaments, maybe win a big tournament, get rich like everyone else.
These people are your friends, but you're trying to kill them. And then as soon as the game's over, you're all friends again.
They allow you to kind of step back and say, I truly fucking love this game. And it's just a lot of fun to sit down against 7 opponents, compete, and, try to come out on top.
Poker's taught me so much about life. I feel like so many decisions that you make off the table can be influenced by the way that you think about poker.
Poker was the first time where I was able to fail monetarily, feel really bad about it, and still think it's all right because you can learn from everything.
I think it's becoming more a story of resilience, and I hope what this entire content project does is I hope it peels back the curtain of our industry a little bit, peels back the curtain of our community, and you get to see what the best and brightest in this poker industry are all about.
Poker is all about chasing your dreams, taking your shot, and changing your life. You don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be, in as good a shape as me. You can go out there and, be anybody and be successful.
This is the first time here at our final table.
When you're faced with adversity, champions rise up.
There you go, guys. That's Dreamers. That is from the Above the Felt team. I like this sort of stuff, right? Peels back the curtain, said Tom Wheaton. What do you think can we expect from this, Leigh?
Yeah, no, I saw the trailer for it last week, and I love it. I mean, the things that you take from that is I love the discussion about resilience and the fact that how do you deal with this shit, because poker does throw a load of really bad things at you while you're playing a game, and how do you deal with that and the kind of the mental aspects of the game, because that's what it's all about. It's not like the movies can somehow explain that it's you know, all the hands clashing all the time and all this kind of. A lot of the time, you sat there folding cards, aren't you? Let's be honest. And it's how you're resilient to that. And Dan's shaking his head, going, "Nah, not me. I get my chips in. Yeah,
I'm in. I'm all in.
Easier that way."
So Friday the 14th of April, guys, that's on YouTube. You can search that if you want to watch it, but I think it could be interesting. And we've had a number of those people who are featuring in that documentary on the orbit and stuff like that in the past. Just lovely, ordinary people, I would say, just having to be making a living in poker.
And do you know what? The other thing I would add to that is, I mean, for those that kind of live or spend any part of their time in kind of a poker Twitter world, poker can come across as being pretty murky and just negative and, you know, constantly having a go at each other. And it's just quite nice to actually see a side where actually people are quite happy to talk about the game and you know, and open up on things and it be a little bit more of a positive feel to it, because I'm kind of a little bit bored and fed up of the kind of dragging poker through the mud when there's it's a fun game to play. It's a social game to play. It's, you know, it's why we all love playing the game.
Very well said. Very well said. So with that said, guys, and I think we are now at we're just after 10 past 11 here. We're going to start bringing this thing to a close. But next up for APAT is Blackpool next weekend, the English Amateur Poker Championship. You know, Leigh, are there any outstanding sort of bits of action on APAT here, or is everybody in?
No, so we're all in and done for that. So if you've got a debit card attached to your Grosvenor account, you can phone the venue and register in advance for that. If not, it's on the day. Main event, day 1A is on the Friday night, and day 1B is on the Saturday. Tom will be up in Blackpool all weekend. I am there on Saturday and Sunday, and I will be doing my bit of the show next Sunday, Des, live from Blackpool. So
I shall be doing.
Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I shall be doing my bit of the show, still live from London, and we'll merge the two together, and hopefully we'll do something interesting next weekend. Brilliant, gents. Well, listen, thank you for your time this evening. Is there anything you'd like to cover off before we call this thing done? Put it in the books? No, all quiet. That's good. Well, lovely to have you on, Wayne. Can't believe it's taken so long to get you on. You know, congrats on your team announcement. Good luck in August. Of course, we say exactly the same to Dan with Wales. There will be other team announcements following at some point in the near future. Thanks for coming on as well, Dan and Dan. That's it from Leigh and I. As Leigh said, we will be coming from Blackpool next weekend. If you're going up there, have a fantastic weekend. And who knows, we might even be able to talk a bit about the online situation next weekend as well. I would hope so. So we will. We've got some exciting plans there, right? So hopefully some details to follow. All right. So with that, guys, you know, have a tremendous week. We will see you next weekend. And until then, have fun. Night, guys.
Bye.